All right, our first question from our Brad Squad group page, because the first 5 questions we're asking from the group page. Oye Wole saying, what are the requirements to submit for citizenship application through marriage?
You have to prove you still live with your wife, that you physically live together, and that you have a joint financial relationship with her. So you're going to need joint tax returns, bills addressed to the both of you, bank statements to show money coming in from both of you, bills being paid jointly through that bank account, your tax returns, photos, everything that you used to prove it was a bona fide marriage for your green card case, you need again for your citizenship.
We've got a question from Monica Laws, Brad Squad member number 2, who said, if you're married to a U.S. citizen and he filed for me and my under 21-year-old daughter, how long will it take for me to get my green card, and how long will it take my daughter to get hers? She's wondering when she's going to get her green card and when her daughter is going to get her
Where's Monica?
green card. We don't know.
Is she in the States? Is she in another country? Do you know when this was filed?
I gave you all the information I have received.
Monica, if you're in the United States and you're filing your adjustment here, it could be anywhere from like 7-8 months on the short end to 3 years on the long end, depending on where you are and what country you're from. If you're in another country, it could be anywhere from 12 months on the short end to 24 months or longer.
Molly Ed, our third Brad Squad member, saying, I was originally an F2B, but my mom became a citizen. A letter was written to USCIS informing them as well as to put the petition in F1. Now F2B is moving faster. Can I go back to the F2B category?
Your mom can elect to go back to F2B. She can write the National Visa Center and say, under the Child Status Protection Act, I want to elect to go back to F2B.
Yvonne said, can a person travel to Canada on their green card coming from the U.S.?
Depends on what country they're from. Canada will let you into their country based on the reciprocity for not green card in the United States, but where your passport is from. So if you're from a country that doesn't need a visa to enter Canada, then you're good. If you're from a country that needs a visa, you need to get a visa. Now, the fact that you have a green card in the United States almost would assure you that you would get a visa for Canada, because you would obviously show the intention of returning to the United States. Most people, believe it or not, would prefer green card United States than green card Canada.
NC Feet saying, I had a 1-year B1, B2 visa for conference from West Africa. I came in first time and stayed 2 weeks, and the second time for a conference after which I stayed 5 months. 3 weeks visiting friends and potential university for my master's without overstaying. I want to go back to West Africa in order to prepare for my master's. My question is, I'm planning to apply for an F1 visa. Do I stand a chance of getting the F1 visa approved? If yes, would there be a problem of re-entry at the POE airport? I'm 25 years old.
A, you got to get accepted to school. B, you got to show you have the financial ability to pay for school, room and boarding, to get an I-20. Then you take your I-20 and you go to the U.S. Embassy from whatever country you're in, and you have to show that at the end of your studies, you're going to go back to your home country. That's the hardest thing. Most people get denied because they can't show non-immigrant intent. The government thinks that you're going to stay in America forever. Do I know whether you have non-immigrant intent or immigrant intent? I have no idea. Do I know what you have to prove? I don't know. I mean, I know what you have to prove. You got to prove that you're leaving enough ties to your home country. What could ties be? You have property, family, jobs waiting for you, money. You live in a good neighborhood. Why would you give up this great neighborhood? I live in, McMansion in my country, whatever it is. So it depends.
Our next question from Elroy. Elroy said, I received my EAD combo card and I'm planning to travel back home for 6 weeks. Is that too long to travel back to? I need advice.
It's not too long. You should be okay, but I tell people 3 weeks max, 4 weeks at the top. I think after that, you're really looking for trouble at the airport.
All right, Benny Boo Nisbet saying, how long does it take for a permanent resident spouse to get their work permit?
It's about 6 months right now.
And they're in the U.S.
6 to 8 months right now, believe it or not.
We've got a question from Ron who said, can a green card holder minor stay for a year outside of the U.S.?
No.
Okay, Ben saying, if you applied for an extension before you're out of status and it took USCIS over 9 months to respond with the RFE, has the person fallen out of status as a result?
Yes, they have. Say, for example, you're on a visitor's visa for 6 months and then you apply to extend your visitor's visa for 6 more months. Just because the government hasn't responded to your request to extend your visitor's visa doesn't mean you're allowed to stay here and have to wait here until you get a response from the government. You still have to leave during that time period. And then the government will write you back in your home country. Prove to us you were intended to visit. Well, here's all the proof you need. I'm not here. But once you stay and wait for that RFE that comes 7, 8, 9 months after, you're out of status. Even if they approve you, they're going to deny you.
Our next question is from Rita, who said, my friend filed for asylum 5 years ago in 2014 and has yet to have an interview. What should he do and what should he expect?
It's because it's last in, first out, and you are last in 2014. So if you have a really great, bona fide, fabulous political asylum case, you mandamus the hell out of it right now. If you have a shaky case, you like, thank God they're not asking to see me for years, and then figure out another way to get a green card.
Crystal G saying, can one file a form I-290B with sufficient evidence after an I-485 denial?
I would refile again. That would be a motion to reopen. I would just refile again.
We've got a question.
Ooh, our new friend.
Who's your new friend?
You would call her Sweetix Thirtis.
Sweetix Thirtist.
Sweetix Thirtix.
Well, everybody else would call her the artist.
Right, Sweetix the artist. Brad's not good with a lack of spaces. If
Yes.
there's no space, he will read it as a word,
exactly.
y'all.
It's
Just
a one
like
word.
me.
That's very true.
I know. If there are no spaces, Brad will not pause.
Sweetix the artist. That's
No,
right.
Put some spaces in your name.
Yeah, how would I know where the first word ends and the next word begins? It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's not
how my brain works.
To know
Yes.
if the I-485 expires. Sweet X says if the I-485 expires on the day of the USCIS is saying the 30th of June. So if it expires June 30th, can I still use it on June 30th? The I-485 expires. The I-485.
The work permit?
The expiration day on the USCIS website is the 30th of June. Can it still be used?
As long as it's received by that day.
Okay.
Has to be received by that day. The
Okay.
form expires,
Okay.
right. Looks like milk.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Forms are like milk. You can't use it after the expiration date.
Obvious, because they taste bad. I will
Correct.
stop.
It would get you sick. You're right. When you drink bad milk, it gets you sick, and when you get a denial letter from immigration, you even get sicker.
Also
So it's like
sick.
bad
Yeah,
milk.
that's true.
Okay.
Right.
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Exactly. It's not how are you doing.
Right.
Right? Nobody says that. Now that we got that out of the way.
Rayade, hello, Brad. Have you heard about Lee Summit NBC in Missouri and why it doesn't show on the USCIS website?
I've heard of it. It's the National Benefit Center. On the USCIS website, it shows at the National Benefit Center.
Shernette said, can you apply for asylum after 2 years?
Not unless something changed in your country. You have to apply. The general rule is you got to do it in 1 year unless circumstances have changed.
Mahendra saying a friend's I-130 priority date November 2018 is filed in F2A category, but he just returned from a trip abroad on an F1 visa last week. Can he file the I-485 starting July? He got his F1 visa stamped in 2015.
He can file for adjustment if his priority date's current 90 days after his entry.
Queen Victoria Brits. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Queen Victoria Brits says, my son is living in Jamaica and he is 9 years old and my husband would like to go ahead and file for him. What documents should my husband file for my son?
I assume the husband's a U.S. citizen. Right. You're going to need your marriage certificate, your son's birth certificate to show you the mom. You need proof your husband's a citizen. So the marriage certificate says you're married to a citizen, and any divorce decrees or death certificates from prior spouses.
Okay, USA Star News saying, I'm 72 years old. I want to visit the USA with my 3 grandkids. Their ages are 15, 18, and 20 years old to attend my family friend's son wedding. Do I need any special paperwork?
To show up at the airport or to go to the U.S. Embassy? If they have visitor's visas, just get on a plane and go. If they need visitor's visas, you got to prove that not only grandma's going to return back to whatever country you were with 3 children.
How do you prove that?
Ties back to your home country. So, they're enrolled in school, maybe they're in a private school, and you've already paid for it. Maybe they come from a good neighborhood. Maybe, the parents are there and have good, decent jobs. Why would, grandma steal the kids and, pens? Sometimes you just can't prove it. And if you can't prove it, you can't prove it. It's not like every case, this is how you prove it.
Right.
Just hope for the best.
Okay, I was about to say, so what do you do after that?
Just hope for the best.
5-star chick says, my sister is here on a B2 visa, which expired 2 years ago. She wants to study nursing. How could she go about adjusting her status to be able to go to school? And is it going to be a problem that the B2 is expired?
You can adjust your status to go to school. You can't go from a B2, overstay, and then go to a student visa. It's called a change of status here, so you can't do that because you've already overstayed. And if you've overstayed by more than a year and you go home to get your student visa, you can't come back for 10 years. So at this point, this sister's screwed. She's got to figure out a way to get a green card. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.